What's up, everyone? I just wanted to come in and talk about an experience that happened to me when I was a kid. So I'll just get right into it. Grab a snack if you'd like. I'm not really going to edit this, so if I sound dumb, then that's just what I sound like. So this happened to me probably, I was 6 years old, so this was probably around 2004, 2003. So it was summertime and I was with my cousin. And my cousin, she was like a second mom to me and would take me basically everywhere with her. Well, she was a teenager when I was a kid, so she had boyfriends and whatnot. So this one boyfriend she had, he lived near this area. It's kind of an infamous area where we live. I'll tell the name later on, but for now I'm gonna leave it a secret. So I was with them. I was with my cousin and her boyfriend, and I can't really remember the reason we were all like hanging out together, but I remember we were in his car and we went to this area. Now, this road, it like I said, it's an infamous part of town. A lot of urban legends and myths and shit surrounding it. A lot of crime. And so we went there at night because that's when the teenagers go and they would park down there and get drunk or fuck and beat each other up. So we go there. I want to say it was probably around 9 p.m., but it's been 20 something years and I can't remember, but just know it was night. It was pitch black. Completely pitch black. No moon in the sky, nothing. Now, if you go there today, it looks a little bit different. They cut a lot of the trees down. There's a gate there, so you can't drive your car on it anymore, and it's kind of like a surveilled area heavily now. I think I don't think it's privately owned actually. I think the state owns it and they turned it into a park. There's a guy on YouTube that did a walkthrough of it. It's like a hiking trail now. But they cut down a lot of trees and it's a little bit different. But back then it was nothing but trees, both sides, all the way down the road. And it was a very quiet area. It was a pretty long road. Originally this road was a trading route for the Indians and the settlers back in the colonies, when there were colonies instead of states. So there's a lot of history on this particular road. Well, when we were there, my cousin and her boyfriend had told me this story. Now, I never really believed any of this shit even as a kid, but they told me this story of this, I guess, entity called Red Eye. So the story was that you would look out into the forest, the woods, and you would see two red eyes looking at you. Well, if you looked back at them too long, the red eyes would turn into a red wolf and it would chase you. Even if you were in your car, like, you wouldn't be able to outrun this thing. It would still, like some Jason shit, it would still be behind you no matter what. If you were going 200 miles an hour, it would still be right behind you. So that was the story that I was told. I've never heard this story anywhere else, even online when I was researching years later, because I've tried to find out what it was that I saw, but I haven't found anything, even after all these years. So, we're going down this road at like 3 miles an hour. It's pitch black. So we're cruising down this road at 3 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, my cousin starts freaking out, screaming, and like banging the door and pointing out the window. And she's saying, "What is that? What is that? What the fuck?" So I'm staring out the windshield, and in the distance, I want to say probably a couple 100 feet, maybe 50 yards, maybe a little further than that. Not so far that you can't see out in the distance, like it was still clear, but not very close. So out a ways away, I see this silhouette of a man, and he's bright red, like almost like he's glowing, but that would be the wrong way to describe it, because the way that he was, it was like someone took a black canvas and painted him. There was no irradiating light. There was no light on the trees from him. There was no light on the ground. It was just pitch black woods and then him. And he was walking. And he was walking so strangely. The way he was walking, it's like it wasn't adding up with his speed. So he was walking like a steady stride, but he wasn't going that fast. It was like he was gliding across the ground. You know, he wasn't keeping pace with how many footsteps he was taking. And like I said, there was no like light emanating from him. There was no red light on the ground, on the trees, anywhere. It was just he was glowing in the pitch black darkness of this forest, and he was just walking or gliding or acting like he was walking. And I'm staring at this as a little kid, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? And my cousin and her boyfriend are freaking the fuck out at this point. They're screaming and hollering and like, whoa, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So he, turns us around fucking instantly and guns it. And I didn't have my seatbelt on, so when he gunned it, I, hopped up on the seat and I'm looking out the rear view or the back window. And I still see it. He's just doing his thing, just walking. And I'm just staring at it until he disappears from view. And I asked my cousin about that exact moment many times throughout the years, and every time I ask her, she acts kind of weird, like she doesn't want to talk about it, like it bothers her. Um, and it it was very strange, very strange. There was no, there was nothing out there that seemed like it could have done that. Like I don't know any technology back in 2004 that could have done that. I thought of everything: Halloween decorations, um, some kind of chemical or optical illusion. I've thought of everything. I've researched too, even years and years later. I've done hours and hours of research, and this exact road, the name of it is Old State Road. That is the name of the road. I've done hours of research on old forums from like the 90s of people talking about it. I could never, I saw one mention of this red eye entity. Um, but most people just say, "Oh yeah, it's the eyes of the raccoons in the forest." But I've never seen anyone mention what I saw or anything like it. And I don't know what it was, Who it was, what could have done it, I don't know. There's a lot of weirdness surrounding that area. Even today, the whole area is kind of laced in mythology and urban legends. I had some friends in high school that went there and did a little documentary on it. But about 10 years ago, my best friend, I told him this exact story. And I actually got my cousin to take us there because we didn't have licenses at the time. So we went there about 8 p.m. And like I said, it's gated off now, so you can't drive your car down there. And there's like a little bridge at the beginning. It's like a tiny bridge. It can't be more than like 20 foot long, and it's an old bridge. And there's urban legends surrounding that bridge too. Like they say if you go there at 3 a.m., you can see under the bridge a woman hanging, from where some lady committed suicide. But none of those are real. But there was one that I did read about online when I was researching years ago. And people would say, when you go there today, there's a white truck that will follow you on to like the beginning of the road, right before the gate. And there's a river walk right there too. So right before it is a river walk where you can park your car and you can walk the river. And then if you go a little further past that, that's the gate to get to the road. So we didn't know there was a gate there back in the day, 10 years ago. So we parked and we walked the river walk because there ain't no fucking way that I'm walking. I don't care how many people I have with me. I'm not walking down that street, road, pitch black, even after 20 years, after what I saw, there's no way. No. So we walked the river walk, and it is a very creepy area. You could feel it in the atmosphere, like there's something not right here. But when we went, this white truck followed us into the Riverwalk Park, and it parked right when we did. When we got out, no one got out. It just sat there with its lights on, the engine running. No one said anything to us, nothing. We walked down the Riverwalk for about an hour and a half. We get in the car. The truck is still there with the engine running and everything. We turn the car on, we pull out. The white truck pulls out right behind us and follows us all the way to leaving the area. No joke. Hand on the Bible. Swear to God. Yeah, there's something weird with that area, and that's exactly what people online said too. They all said the same thing. A white truck followed them. So, those are my experiences. I still don't know what that was, the red man. I don't know what it or he was. If anyone has any questions, I would be happy to answer them. But very enigmatic experience to say the least. And I can still see it in my mind. It's so crystal clear to me because it left such an impression on me, on my young mind. I don't remember a lot from 2004, but I remember that like it was yesterday, like instantly. So I thought people would like to hear that story. That's the end of this one, at least. Like I said, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to try and put a picture up of what it looked like. I'm going to have AI generated or something. Just to kind of paint the image in your head of what I saw. So, yeah, that's it for this one. Like and comment, and yeah, have a good one.